Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls come a-tumbling down. You may talk about your king of Gideon, you may talk about your man of Saul. There's none like a good old Joshua at the battle of Jericho. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel?
My name is Tayo Aluko, actor, writer, singer. We met at a party in London. You know, high-flying Nigerians. A friend of mine knew this couple in St. John's Wood. They were having a party. I didn't know that myself, but Bayo said it would be okay. That they always had open houses, and by all accounts, an open marriage too. There she was, one of half a dozen or so white women, very pretty. Getting a lot of attention, of course. But somehow I caught her eye. Or did she catch mine? I don't know. Then after a while, she walks up to me and says, "Hi, I'm Shirley. I think I know who you are. Tunde, isn't it?" Amazing. Bloody amazing. And you know how she did that? That very same buyer that took me to the party, she just asked him about me 5 minutes earlier, and then she pretended that she'd seen me on TV in Casualty. Anyway, we spent the rest of the evening talking. Danced just the one dance. Exchanged numbers, and before you know it, 5-6 weeks later, we are meeting up in Zurich for a long weekend. We had a great time. Not just in bed, you know. It's just talking, walking, taking in the sights. Saw a play. It's perfect. And then, about 2 months after, same thing again in Paris. Again, the first night and next morning were just wonderful, like the first time round. But then after lunch, we're walking along the Champs-Élysées, and she becomes very quiet. And I ask her, what's the matter? Eventually, she starts spinning this long tale about how she's involved in a secret investigation into Nigerian fraud, oil. How European banks and oil companies are persuading our politicians to discount the amount of oil that's being drawn from the Niger Delta by up to 50%. And they sell the disappeared cargo to rogue Chinese traders and pay the politician up to 5%. The guy could make 5 million US on one transaction. 5 million each time. And there'd be 3, 4, 5 a day. And this has been going on for years, and it's still going on now. Anyway, cut a long story short, she persuades me to be involved in a sting, you know. Set myself up with all these people to pretend to be a corrupt banker in London. And this governor appears, and we do the sting, you know, recorded. You know, the kind of thing that you sometimes see on TV, you know, on the BBC of MPs or even members of the House of Lords, you know, recorded offering to sell their services to lobbying companies for cash. British corruption. The only difference between them and us is that they are a bit more sophisticated and subtle and less greedy. Anyway, so Hyde Park Hilton, we do it. I'm there as part of the team. And this thing happens. The only problem is they arrest me too. Can you imagine? They arrest me too. So Muggins here ends up spending 2 years in Brixton jail. And you know what happened? It turns out that the governor, I forget his name, they'd given him a dossier about me. They'd made up a dossier about how I had been a corrupt banker and how I had been helping the bank to defraud the country for years. Only problem is they gave that dossier to the police without telling them that they'd made it up. Couldn't get legal aid. So when we eventually get to court, I represent myself. Of course, I'm way out of my depth. Eventually I find out that the crook, Arubele, he was a rival of none other than our president, our very own born-again president. And Mr. President needed a way of getting Arubele off the scene. So he hires Shirley to make up this operation. And I am a necessary but expendable casualty, collateral damage. And you know the worst thing about it? It's not 2 years in prison, not the fact that nobody will do business with me. It's that my own family here in Nigeria, my own family, they don't believe me either. And that came home to me when my fiance, ex-fiance, said to me what people had been saying behind my back. You know, there's no smoke without fire. That's my fault. I couldn't keep my bloody dick in my pants for just 1 year. Why should she believe me on anything else? Well, that's it. I just sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long ways from home, a long ways from